Hey everyone, Jamie here. Today I am sitting in Denmark. What brings me to Denmark? Some of you might ask. A number of things, to be completely honest, but none more so than anything. It's basically a place that I love. The people here, I've got a natural affinity to the place. There's something about it that I think even ancestrally, my bloodline comes from these regions, and there's just a calling here. I love the food, the people, the atmosphere, the climate. Today is an exceptional day, as you can see. It's bright and sunny, super clear blue skies. The air is crisp. It's chilly, but it's not cold. It's late October, mid to late October. But this week's weekly wrap up, I just wanted to touch on a few things about stepping out and stepping into things, just biting the bullet. I touched on it last week. I think it was walking through the forest in Iceland. But since then, in the last week, I've wrapped up my trip in Iceland, and then I went to Stockholm for a meeting for a client. So a part of something that I set it up a little while ago, probably a few years ago, but never really activated it. But it's consulting, and consulting around sort of the human-centered design of things, the customer experience, understanding the journey mapping of why people do what they do and how they do it, and just talking to people. I've come to understand it's about self-awareness, who I am and what makes me tick. And for me, it's conversations. I like to converse with people because through that, you learn so much. And it's that whole face-to-face type of thing. So last week I was in Stockholm, where I met with an organisation, privately held organisation, but very large in size. We're talking tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars of revenue. And the reason why I was there was for a client that I'm doing some strategic consulting for. And it's around a negotiation of a distribution agreement in which they take on this particular product and brand and distribute it to 17 countries throughout the EU. And it was interesting sitting there in this boardroom. It was roughly a 5.5-hour, 6-hour meeting with this one particular gentleman. And the first probably, I'd say 2 hours roughly, was just backstories. And we just dominoed. We just went from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. It was, first of all, it was where we came from, what we did, how we got into what we're doing, very similar alignments, family, kids, motivations, workplace cultures, everything. And it was interesting that there is a synergy when you really step out and step into something. For as crazy and as scary as it might be, things really do start to align. And with this particular gentleman, and I can't name his name just based on disclosure agreements and stuff like that, or the company, but what I can say is just like-mindedness attracts like-mindedness, whether it be good people doing good things or not so good people doing not so good things. And toxic relationships, toxic work environments, and all the rest of it. And it was really, really encouraging to know that the direction I've taken, partly forced, but more so just lazy and not actually having activated it, now is a blessing. I am as happy as a pig in a field full of mud, just rolling around it and enjoying it. So, that client last week, I had a meeting today and presentation with a company here in Denmark. That went very well. The audience received it very well, and looking to build on these things going forward. So yeah, just wanted to say, step out, step into it. And I know I keep saying it, but it's just, you got to do it. You got to do it. I'm in a much better place now. Okay, yeah, I'm in Denmark, which I absolutely love, but yeah, do it. Take the leap. I think you've kind of seen from me over the last few weeks, various different sort of emotions and not sure and hesitancies and stuff. But sometimes the more hesitant I am is the further not the further I jump, but I just activate it, So good things happen to good people, and you just have to have faith in it and do it with the right intent and the right motive, and it can't not work. It's not easy. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes it is easy. Sometimes things, just because, things aren't difficult doesn't mean that they're not right. Sometimes the easy things are the right thing. So with that, it's a great start to my business ventures. It's the weekly wrap up, and I'm going to continue to spend some time here in Denmark this week and travel through a few more countries, and looking to extend my stay up here in the Northern Hemisphere to look for work. I'm looking for work. If you're, anything, if you're someone that needs human-centered design type, people to understand, journey mapping and marketing and just positioning and relationships and communications, I'm your man. Reach out, contact me. Happy to look me up on LinkedIn. Is probably the best way from a professional standpoint. So it's Jamie, Jamie, Bartie, Bartie. Look me up, and happy to have a conversation. Let's do this. Very excited, energized, and ready to go. So talk soon. Until next post, be well.